Not
Are you out of your
Masters.
rabbit mind?
Not a two Masters, dude. In
This-
what day and age do you get do-overs in sports?
It wasn't a do-over.
It was a do-over, dude.
It basically
you
was a
guys frowned
playoff.
upon-
Wait.
Frown upon the mulligan.
Wait. A do-over would have been if he would have got to go and replay the hole, and if he made par, he wins. A playoff is when you go back and the guys that are tied replay the hole.
Nah, it's the same, dude. You get to go back and do what you just
not.
undid. It's the same, dude. It was very anticlimactic.
First of all, Lick, I'm gonna tell you from watching a boatload of golf, right? Usually, a guy in Rory's position versus a guy in Justin Rose's position.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Rose had been playing great golf all day. He came on strong at the end. That's usually the guy that wins because he's got the momentum of playing well. He doesn't have that scar of messing up the last hole.
Well, as somebody who watches no golf, let me tell you, when I was watching this with heavy petty stakes involved, and I'm watching Rory hit the sand on the OG 18, not the redo 18, I was like, oof. But then he made the shot out of the sand, and I texted you guys and said, stones. That's a good shot. All he has to do is make that putt. Couldn't do it. So he has two blunders on the final hole. And they're like, that's okay, Rory. Guess what? Playoff. You get to try it again. If you're one of the best golfers in the world, hold on. Just hear out my amateur theory here. To me, if you're one of the best golfers in the world, and something as rare as Rory McIlroy screwing up so bad as to end up in the trap and then be a putt he could make in his sleep away, you give him another crack at that exact same hole right again.
You know that's predetermined, right?
I know it is, but it's stupid. It's stupid.
Why? They do it in every tournament.
They need to have it a middle hole. Okay, it should be a hole that he played a long time ago.
Well, first of all, the reason why they don't do that is because of the scramble to get there. You got 20,000 people out there.
People make the
and so if you keep it within, a lot of times they will play holes that are all located right around 18.
Oh, so for the people? So we're doing this just for convenience? Look, it's 2025. We can take the cameras anywhere. We have drones. I don't care about that. Here's my other suggestion.
You sound so
my other suggestion is
right now. You know what?
Why is it?
Here's what I'm going to say to you. Before you continue, stay in your lane.
No. That's not fair.
You're on the bumpy part on the side of the road.
This is not fair. We sat here for years on this show and you denied the head kick, okay? And I had to sit here and have professional fighters tell you you're an idiot. Allow my idiocy here for a while because of Petty. I think what the Masters needs to do, you got all that money.
Wait,
all those.
One more thing. Let me explain to you people what this guy suggested to me. Rock, paper, scissors.
I think Justin Rose.
I hung up the phone. I turned off my mentions. Like you, sir, lost all credibility with the master champion being determined by rock, paper, scissors.
First of all, it's not that far off from a coin toss. Second of all,
there was no coin toss. First in, first out.
No.
So the first guy that posts the score hits first.
Your counter to it was, overtime. It's the same as overtime. And I said, but that's determined by a coin toss on who gets the ball first. How is that different from rocks, paper, scissors? My only deterrent was that the winner of rocks, paper, scissors,
not in baseball,
gets to pick. Well, that's just home and away. And it's not the same because you're facing against somebody. In golf, you're really playing yourself in the course. Truly.
Really?
Which is why it's ridiculous. Somebody as good as Rory McIlroy, who we all saw choke, he choked. And then it's just like, never mind, he didn't choke. He gets to do it again. What? Come on.
Hard. See, here's
the same hole.
Marcos, here's the thing. I don't think he understands how hard golf is.
It's not true. I mean, I've made the uphill
Really?
volcano before.
Huh?
I've made the volcano putt before.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, but here's my other suggestion. If you don't like rock, paper, scissors, winner gets to pick the hole. Why doesn't the Masters have a playoff hole? Why can't they have just one hole reserved for sudden death?
So you want them and all the property and the way it's laid out to
Yep.
have an additional hole
An
that they go
actual
to for emergencies.
Exactly. They
Really?
got the money for it.
Really?
They do.
Where would you put this hole?
Dude, you're telling me Augusta couldn't figure out after all this time a super overtime hole?
Right in the middle of the golf course.
Somewhere. I don't know. Fix it.
You think they build these golf courses around the topography of the land, and there's really not any room for an additional hole.
Look, good for him. I can't say I'm happy for him because
Why? What has he done?
He said that the Toronto Raptors had a better crowd than the Heat. I'm never going to forget that. And
So
that's
really, what you're wait.
That's where my entire beef started.
This goes back. Now, keep in mind, he may know about as much about basketball as you do about golf. And you're taking every word that he says about a crowd. Oh my goodness. All right.
Let me tell you something. That crowd yesterday watching Bub Carrington beat us, it was on fire when Jaime was putting up 40. Even for a meaningless game.
I thought he hit the shot clock.
Dude, I did too.
It was crazy, right?
I've watched 3 buzzer beaters this season against the Heat, and really 4, because Sabonis did it with 0.5 left. So I've watched 4 buzzer beaters beat the Heat this year. The year from hell. It really is something. But no, look, obviously emotion of sports, good for him. But I'm going to tell you, give me your honest assessment. Can I just
would you like
me, No, I want to do this.
I'm going to take you through.
Take me to your living room when 18, not overtime.
Oh no,
it happens.
Listen, the ebbs and flows of my emotions from the start was amazing because Rory doubled the first hole.
Oof.
I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. But then he bounced back, had 2 birdies, and then Bryson, with all the momentum on his side, decided to start hitting it sideways. And my thought at the time was, this golf course must be playing really hard because there was really nobody under par except for Justin Rose. And that means that it's playing tough. When nobody's shooting little numbers, everybody's shooting right around 70, 71, it was playing difficult. Now, what I would say is this. The reason why, if I had doubts about Rory were occurring, was because he was hitting the ball crooked. Off the tee, he was hitting it all over the place.
Yelling at his ball.
He was getting these windows to hit the ball on the green and escaping with par. Then the shot he hit on 15 from 200 yards out, hooking it around a tree. Right after Bryson DeChambeau hit the ball in the water. I love the way golfers, my favorite thing about golf is when they miss a putt and then they go tap the ground like they hit something, or they'll hit a ball that comes up short in the water and they'll look up at the wind.
Dude, I found it so annoying watching Justin Rose sit there for 900 minutes. He's like looking around. He's got the coin. First of all, he doesn't even have the ball there. He's got the coin for the ball, or whatever the hell he does to mark the ball with. He's sitting there. He's like looking around. He's got his notepad. And then the ball's there.
Wait.
I know that they do.
Wait, you ever see him do this?
Was it 3 fingers? What is that?
It's called aim point, and they use it to they do all kind of crazy stuff.
But you do all of that just to have it lip out. I'm just like, oh, really? And then everybody's just like, and everybody's disappointment is just, oh, you hear the whole crowd. Oh,
go Three, go!
Oh.
They just immediately moved to the other guy. Because the crowd, contrary to popular belief, especially in that situation, the crowd was going to be happy regardless. But if Rory lost, he would have definitely been more miserable.
Oh,
right?
dude. There's no coming back from that. I think you got to hang it up.
Dude,
If you would have,
he had a worse situation a few years ago in the Masters.
Yeesh.
He had a 4-shot lead going into the back nine, and hit a ball next to one of the cabins. Like he was standing amongst the azaleas trying to figure out where to hit his ball.
Well,
So like all that aside, what stones he showed to still be in it? Because guess what? Think about this. When Bryson started losing it, he lost it all the way. Like that's the nature of that game, is that the hardest thing in the world to do during the course of a round is shake that stink off of you and not keep playing poorly.
Is it stones? Like that's the thing I wrestle with. I'm like, how is that?
Hey, wait. It's the equivalent to, say, if Steph went 0 for 10, but then he makes the 3 at the end of the game to win it.
Okay,
it's kind of like,
but it would be like Steph Curry basically going to the free throw line, yakking a couple free throws, and then he gets to go to overtime, but it's just determined by free throws.
No,
like he's gonna hit it.
So in all playoffs in golf, they play off. They go to a hole and play it off. That's been predetermined.
I know, but a lot of the times, like, it's not always someone's going to yak it that bad to get to an overtime. Sometimes,
that's usually the most cases when it happens.
Sometimes,
usually some guy, the reason why it ends up going into a playoff is because one of the guys leading does something at the end and lets other people in it.
Or somebody can go earn it, though. They could go, like, that would feel different to me. If Rory putted to force the overtime and then go win it, well, I'm sorry I keep calling it overtime, to force the playoff, and then that would feel different. But to have the lead, yak the lead, and be like, no bigs, I get to do it again.
Well, in order, here, you're exhausting this morning.
Thank you.
In order, and this in order for somebody to be able to come back in the playoff, that means whoever was leading did something to give them an opportunity. So Justin Rose made a hell of a birdie on the 18th hole, but Rory had to make bogey for him to be able to get in the playoff. Rory makes par, and it's over, and we're not even talking about the birdie on 18.
But it would feel different to me if it was almost flipped, right? Like if Rory
made the bogey and then Justin was in the last group.
Yeah, and then he earned it. It would feel different to me.
But if Justin was in the last group, right? That means he probably would have been playing terribly and birdied the last hole.
Tears says, well, what's your idea for playoff golf, Tobin? Oh, if you were late here, I told you, super playoff hole that only gets unveiled.
That they keep in bubble wrap
right
until the playoff.
Well, you can,
and he doesn't understand enough about how golf courses is built that you can't just put a hole anywhere. There's no room.
Hear me out. For the regular day in, day out members of Augusta, they can play it if they want to. It's not like it's going to go to waste.
Where are you going to put it?
They got the money.
No, it has nothing to do about money. You can have all the money in the world. If you don't have room, you don't have room.
You can make room.
Really?
They can figure it out.
Really?
I mean, they'll never do it.
You know what you sound like? You sound like when you have a whole car full of kids, right? And you go, we can make this work. And then you got kids sitting on each other's lap and stuff.
When you go golf with Cliff, right? And you're sitting there and Cliff really just yanks one. He goes, mulligan? Don't you kind of look upon him like, really, dude? You think it's
we use breakfast ball in the morning because we tee off so early.
Dade's house says golf simulator, super playoff hole.
Really?
What about a putt off instead of a hole?
Putt off?
Yeah, just you just need
dude.
Come on.
They did listen. Both of those guys played that last hole to perfection. One guy made the putt, one guy missed it. That hole went exactly. Nobody hit it in trouble. Nobody was struggling to make par. Both guys played the hole well. One guy hit it closer and won. That's how you want to play. That playoff was exciting to see Justin Rose hit his ball first and hit it almost in the hole. And then to see Rory hit it again and hit just the unbelievable shot.
Jukebox says replaying the last hole seems illogical. Playoff holes should be selected at random. But
here's the thing, and here's what I tried to tell Tobin. Every tournament is different where they determine the playoffs. Some tournaments they go to 10 and they play 10 and then 18. Some tournaments you have three whole aggregates.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say 2 of the majors. US Open, when you tie, you used to play a whole nother 18 on Monday.
Yeah, I thought somebody did do that.
Yeah, so
too much.
So it's a crazy thing that you're saying.
Terry's very mad at me. She says, obvious Tobin doesn't play a lick of golf. They didn't do a do-over. It was tied. When hockey is tied, what happens in overtime? Very fine point, Terry. Here's the thing.
And wait. Let me ask you a question. Why does hockey go 3-on-3?
But that's
not regular. No. That's not regular hockey. That's not regular hockey.
Hold on. That's a regular season gimmick. In the playoffs, they do not.
Okay, so this is a major.
Agreed. So what they should do is I would be fine. I would be even more fine if they did
just
10,
tell you
do 10 first. Do 10 first. Because they say 18 and 10 if it's still tied. Do 10 first.
And here, to be honest with you, it depends on how close the holes are together.
Oh, obviously, it's close enough. If they were tied after 18, they would have gone to 10. Flip them. Do 10 first.
It's already predetermined.
He's all right.
And keep in mind, more importantly, all the people are already there.
Oh, dude, trust me, those kiss asses will walk for Rory.
Yeah, but you don't want too much. You don't want it too hectic before you hit your shots. You want to get it over with.
I don't want it over with. I want the toughest conditions to pick the winner.
18 is one of the toughest holes.
Not if you just did it.
Really? So you think?
It's like
let me get this. Wait. Let me get this straight. So you think one of the most difficult holes on the golf course, if you got a do-over, you'd be better at it?
If I was number 1 in the world, yes.
He's not number 1 in the world
at that time. Come on.
Who?
You're being if I'm one of the best golfers on the planet.
Right.
Okay. And I get the chance to redo a mess up twice on that hole.
You got to do it 4 times.
Dude, that's my point.
You played 4 rounds of golf.
Right after, though, dude. It's different. You'd agree. It's different. To do it right again?
Not with, let me tell you something. Tobin, I don't think you understand how mental golf.
It's the only time in the sport.
Hold on. I don't think you understand how mental these guys are, right? The hardest thing in golf to do is go back to the scene of the crime where you blew it.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. What?
No, ridiculous.
Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me?
It's the only time in the sport it happens. It's the only time in the sport where you get to redo it. Normally, you screw up, new hole.
They've played all the holes.
No. I'm saying in the round, Leroy, you screw up on 3, you got to go to 4. There's no redoing 3.
No. We're talking about a playoff, though.
So, I understand.
So let me ask you a question. And here's the assumption that you're making, that every playoff comes from somebody in the last group. It does not. Sometimes I've seen they had situations where 2 guys who were tied at the top had to wait an hour for the lead group who just blew it. and wait for them to finish before they went to 18.
And that would possibly feel different to me. And maybe I would have different feelings if I didn't have petty agenda against this man. But I just saw him blow it. And what's his reward for blowing it? Oh, have another chance, Rory.
It doesn't, but that makes it more difficult, not easier.
Ridiculous, dude. That is a ridiculous take.
I'm telling you, to have all that on your brain about how you just ruined or blew the chance to win the slam, right? To win all 4 majors, to have that right on your mind and have to go right back to the same hole. You need you got to have your mentals right.
Get out of here.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Really? You sound so ridiculous right now.
I don't sound ridiculous.
You do.
I'm just being honest because I'm the only person who
you're being
swept up
honest.
in these fake goosies everybody has for him.
What, you don't think like 1 of 6?
Yeah, 1 of 6. But it should say, but you remember what it took to get the 4th. 10 years and an overtime.
You do realize that I want to say the last Masters, that was it the last one? No, it was the third one Tiger won, when he had a playoff with Chris DeMarco. He did the same thing that Rory did.
Third Masters?
I think it was his third one where he had a playoff with Chris DeMarco.
He already had 2 jackets?
Yeah.
Let's not say those are the same things. Come on.
Why? The situation is the same.
It's not the same thing.
Tiger, wait. Tiger had a lead. He blew it, and then he got in the playoff.
Are you kidding me? Do you know how ridiculous that sounds? It'd be like saying Michael Jordan has 2 rings already, but the third one, woof. Obviously, this one has the most weight.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that Tiger had a very similar situation to what happened to Rory. That he had the lead and lost it and had to go to a playoff.
2 Masters in?
I think it was his third one. What is how many you won before now? In fact, it makes it even more difficult when you haven't won one.
No. But that's the point. Of course it does. But he
just from this standpoint, do you understand the weight on any athlete's head when you have failed in a certain at a certain point in your career? So to Rory, the way everybody was on him not winning a Masters to this point in his career has been a failure. And then you bogey the last hole and got to go do it again? Yes. You think that helps?
Of course.
All you got to do that makes it worse.
Dude,
that
last
goodness,
hole.
Tobin, you sound
dude, I am not leaving this stance. I'm telling you right now.
Ridiculous.
We've done a half hour straight on this. We got to take a break. Back after this.